Charlie, the US gig is once again open. Oh, if you want to move to America, the DV lottery is open this time, also known as the American lottery. So this is the time to put in your application. Luckily, Ghana is one of the countries that qualify to send in applications, and amongst other countries as well. So this is an opportunity for you to try to win this lottery, and if you get it, you receive a green card to move to the US with your family and your loved ones. So, like I said, this is a lottery, so you don't lose anything if you apply and not get. But if you also apply and then you win it, then it becomes a good thing for you. So no matter the number of times you have tried, if you have tried 5 times, 10 times, and you've not won, don't give up. You never know. Maybe the next cohort is your opportunity. If you have never applied to, this video is definitely for you. In this video, I'm going to walk you through all the processes of doing the application. Mind you, you don't need any agent to do this application. You can do it yourself. So far as you have internet, you have a laptop, and then you have all the things that are needed, you can do it yourself. With this video, I'm going to walk you through all the processes, how to fill the form and how to send your application. The only prerequisite for applying for this thing is photo, and I'll describe it in the video, the type of photo that you need to take, and this can easily be taken in any photo studio. I'll also show you an app that you can use to resize it if the photo was not taken in the right size and all that. So if you are new here, remember to subscribe to my channel and follow all the other videos as I talk about travel abroad, study abroad, and jobs abroad opportunities. So let's move to the screen to see how the application is done, and you should try this. This is an opportunity for you. Try it. If it works out for you, you are lucky. If not, you can try again another time. So let's move to the screen and then see how it goes. So this is how the website looks like. The American Visa Lottery, or the Electronic Diversity Visa Program. This is how the website looked like. If you want to get to this website, you just need to go on Google and type DV Lottery or American Lottery, and then you find the website. I'll also drop the link to this website in the description of this video below, so that you can just click on that link and then it will take you to this website. So this is how the website looks like. This is a do-it-yourself video. So like I said in the beginning, you don't need an agent. You can do it yourself. So if you follow this tutorial from beginning to end, you should be able to apply for this visa lottery yourself, for you, yourself, and your children and your family. So let's go on to see how the application is done. I'm going to use some information that are not right, so please, just for demonstration, you should know that this is how it is done. So if you check on the video, they say welcome. They say our State Department website for the 2026 diversity or DV is now open. The entry submission period is from October 2nd until 5th November. So if you want to apply, please, you have to apply within this period before it will be taken into consideration. If you apply after that, it will not be accepted. Now, to begin application, we have to know what is really important. The important part of this application is the photo. So they said before beginning the entry process, verify that your picture or pictures for any of your dependent comply with the photo instruction. So one important thing is the photo. So you have to get the photo right, because if you don't get the photo right, then all your application is not valid. So let's go click and see the photos that are accepted. Now look at these photos. You see that these are the accepted ones, very clear, and this shows how your photo should look like. One, you need a white background, and your face, you should be looking directly in the camera, and you should have a very white background, and like I said, look directly in the camera. So like they said, from this year, glasses will no longer be allowed. So if you are someone who wears glasses, you have to remove the glass and then take the photo. Now let's look down here. You see the photo is very clear here, and these are the ones that are not accepted. You see that the background is not white, and look at this one. You see that the person's background is not all that white, and there's a shadow behind. So you said the color is not accurate, so it's not accepted. If you look at this one for a child, it's very clear. The smiling is fine, the background is white, and everything is fine. But if you look at this one, it says that there's a shadow, so it is not also going to be accepted. Now, size and position. If you look at this, you realize that the size is very clear, and they said the photo should be 2 inches by 2 inches. So if you go to the studio to take the photo for you and your spouse and children, tell the photographer that you need 2 inches by 2 inches, and with the head center, and size between 1 inch by and 1.4 inch, 25 by 35. So this is the exact size of the picture. So you must tell the photographer this is what you need, and most of the photographers know. So if you tell them you're applying for the DV lottery, they know how to do it. There's also a photo tool here that we can use to resize. So if you take your photo, you can use this tool to resize the photo before you do the application. So these are the accepted ones. Look at this one, is not accepted because the person knows what the camera is too close to the face. You realize that it's too close, so the part of the arms are not visible. This one is not accepted because it's not in the center. And this one, the camera is too far, so you realize that the person is too far from the picture. And this one is also too near, the full head is not seen. So you must really check all these. And here for the sizing, you realize that it's also fine. If you change the background, you see that the size of the head is like boxes, so it's not allowed. And for children, because some of them cannot be in good position, something like this is allowed. Even this one is also allowed because everything is clear, but this is not allowed. Your child is not looking at the camera. This is also allowed. This one, the child is playing with the tongue, is not allowed. This one, you have a dummy inside the mouth, which is not allowed. Here the child is blurred and the child is not looking at the camera. And also here the child is covering the mouth with their hands, which is not clear. This one too is not accepted because you are behind it and the background is not white. So you have to really be particular about the photo before you go through. So you can go here and see the pictures that are allowed. Always stress on the pictures that are allowed before you accept the pictures at the photographers. So after you are certain with the pictures and everything, we can now start with the application. So how do we do the application? We start by clicking the begin entry. So if we begin entry, it takes us to the page itself, and with this you have to put on the security code to be sure that you are not a robot. So you put a V5SVK and then you submit. And when you submit, it opens it. So you put your last name or family name, so that is Aka, then your last name or first name, which is free. If you have a middle name, you put. If you don't have, you click no middle name. Then what's your gender? Male. Your month of birth, this. If this is your year of birth, you put something like this. Which city were you born? Maybe Berlin. Or you were born in Accra, so you put your Accra. If you don't know the city where you were born, you click here. You don't know the city where you were born, and that is fine. Which country were you born? Accra is in Ghana, so you put Ghana, and that is it. So now they ask you, are you claiming eligibility based on your country where you were born? You say yes, and that is it. So Ghana is qualified, so you don't need to even go. If not, you must enter the country which you are claiming eligibility. So if you are from Ghana or any of the eligible country, you just put yes and you go on. So now the next thing is to upload the picture, and they put all the instructions here. There are photo samples. You should check, like I already told you in the beginning of the video. Check and also be sure that the photos are very good before you upload them. The photos must be taken in the last 6 months, so you shouldn't go and upload old photos or photos you used last year for this year. No, make sure that you take new photos for that. So now if you want to proceed, you upload just the picture. So let's assume this is the picture. I upload it. I'm done. That is my picture. Then we go to the address part. So mailing address, if there's going to be a mail to you, what is it? If you want to use your church, your office, or any address, then in care of is optional. So it means, if care of means that the person who is going to take care of the letter. So if it is your church, maybe your church pastor. If it is your office, maybe your secretary, you put the name there. Then the address line of where you are. So you can put your address, maybe your address is Saint Michael. That's your address, line 1. Which city is it? Accra. Districts, maybe Accra Central, if that is your district. Zip code in Ghana, usually our zip code is 00233. That is it. So that's a zip code. If you don't also know, if there's no zip code, you can put here. If your country you don't use zip code, you can put, but for Ghana it's 00233. And if other countries, you can check what zip code you use. And if you are done, you put Ghana. So you click Ghana, and that is it. Then country where you live today. So which country do you live today? So if you live in Ghana, you put it there. Your phone number, which is optional, so you don't need to put it there, but if you have a phone number, you put it there. What is your email address? You can put the email address there. So this is this at gmail.com. Look for a very good email. So your email is duplicated. So this email must be very accurate, because that is where they are going to send certain information to you and all that. Now, when you are done with filling this part, the next important part is to show your level of education. So what is your level? If you have only primary school, you choose high school, no degree. High school with degree, you put vocational school. If you went to a vocational school, if you did some university courses, if you have a university degree, bachelor's, diploma or master's, you put it there. If you have graduate level, master's degree, doctoral degree, you put everything there. So let's assume I put maybe master's degree. So I have a master's degree, and you put it there. What is your this thing? If you are married, you put this thing. You say married and my spouse is not a US citizen. Then you put it there. If you are unmarried, if you are single, you put it. If you are married too, you put you're married and your spouse is not. If you are divorced, if you are widowed, if you are legally separated, everything put it there. So you put unmarried, or let's say you put married and my spouse is not US citizen. Then how many children do you have? You should put the number of children you have. So if you have 1 child, you put it there. If you have 0 children, you put it 0. If you have 2 children, you put 2. That is it. And with this is important, because with this number of children, it will tell you the number of extra forms you are going to fill. So for example, if I have 1 child and I fill all this information, I then go to continue. So if I go continue, if all my information is accurate, so you realize that one of the information is not valid. So we have to go through and see that they said my photo is not JPEG. So that is one of the things. The photo is not JPEG, and JPEG format, and the photo is not more than 200 and this, and your photo must be square. So it must be 600 by 600 pixel, or 1200 by 1200 pixel. So you see that the photo is not accepted. So I have to take a new photo, or I have to check the photo. So I put a new photo now. Now I've uploaded a new photo, and I hope this photo is accepted. I'm not saying this is the photo you should use, but this is an example of how you upload your photo. So now, and it says that please re-enter your email address. The 2 email address fields must match. So if I check here, yes, so if one information is not right, they will refer you back to check all that. Now I've corrected that. Let's see if everything goes through. Good. Now everything is gone through. So next is for me to fill my spouse name and spouse information. So you have to now you fill all the information, just like you did for yourself. You fill all the information for your spouse, your wife, or your husband. Select the country, upload their photo, and also you put the child's name. So your child's name here, child number 1. You see, I put that I had only 1 child, so I have to put only child number 1. So I put the information of the child, their date of birth, the gender of the child, the city where the child was born, the country where the child was born, and the photo of the child. Then you upload that one too. Then you come back to, like I said, the spouse. You have to do the spouse as well and do all that. So if you have all that information, you fill it here. You can do it yourself. You don't need, and then you upload the picture of your spouse here. If you have 3 children, it will show you number of child number 1. You finish that one. You go to child number 2. You finish. You go to child number 3. You fill that one too, and upload separate photos. Please be sure that you don't mix the photos. So the children, the name of the person, and you go and put a different photo. You have to be very sure of that. So if you fill all that, then you come to continue, and then that will be it. So for this demonstration, I'll go back to the first part and put that I am not married. Then I do not have a child. I'm married, and also I don't have a child. So in this case, you are single, you are applying for yourself, you are not married, you don't have a child as well. And like they said with the children, you have to be very careful. They said children including all biological children, legally adopted children, and stepchildren who are unmarried and under the age of 21 on the date of your submission. So if you have stepchildren, you have to add them, because if you don't add them and you get a lottery, well, at the time you are going and you now want to add them, it will not be accepted. So if you are applying and you want to add your you want to travel with your stepchildren, then you have to add them as well. So the children must be less than 21 years. So if the child is more than 21 years, then the child is not a child anymore. So the child must be less than 21 years. So that is it. So let's go back to the demonstration. So now I click I'm unmarried and I don't have a child. So if I click on continue, now because I'm doing it just for myself without any other thing, I think the only thing I have done is to fill the first form. I don't have any part 2. They give you the opportunity to look through all the information you have put in to see if all the information is right. Please, at this point, double check and check triple and be sure that all the information you put is accurate, because you cannot do double registration. Immediately you do double registration, you are already done. They are not going to check your information. So at this point, check and make sure that yourself, the information about yourself, your name, spelling, and everything, the information about your children is correct. The information about your spouse, either your husband or your wife, is accurate. The names, the date of birth, the sex. Sometimes people forget and put females as males. You have to be very sure of that. The country where they were born, the city where they were born, all this you can find on your birth cert or your passport. The address, check to be sure of that. The email address, very, very, very important, because that is where they are going. They said this email address will be used to provide you with additional document if you are selected. So if you are selected, they will send all the information to this email address. So make sure that this email address is working. If you don't have an email address, you can go and open one today before you do the application. You can open a Gmail address, a Yahoo, any one of them, and you do the application yourself. So make sure that the information is right, the email address is right. Please, if you are someone who forgets your email address, make sure that after you are done, write the email address somewhere and the password somewhere and put it somewhere, so that in the future you don't forget that email, because there are reports of people who would finish applying. When they select them, then they don't even remember their email address, so they can't even find the information they've sent to them, and it becomes a bogus this application. So please make sure that your email address is well secure. And also the phone number, please put your phone number there, so that sometimes if they don't reach you by the email, they may also call you by phone. And those who are changing their phone numbers all the time, make sure that the phone number is the number that they can reach you at any time, at least for the next 2-3 years. Okay, so please make sure this information's or this your information is right. And also, if you are married, don't go and say you are not married, because at the end, if they investigate and find out, then you lose your this. If you have children, please put the number of children. Put the number of children, because you have to apply for them. So please, this should be really looked at. Don't if at the time you are applying, your wife is pregnant, you count only those children that she has given birth yet, because the one that is pregnant, you don't have a photo of that child. So you cannot put that you have an upcoming child. By the time you win and then your wife has given birth, I'm sure they will find a way of adding the child, because at the time you were applying, the child was not born. So you have to check all these details. These details are very important. They must really be accurate so that you are able to win the thing or send it successfully. So, assuming that all this information about me is accurate and the photo is accepted, everything is fine, I just need to come down here and submit. Then, after you submit, the page that will appear will look like this. So, this is how the page is going to look like. So, you will have something like this: DV 2020. 4 or 5 based on what you apply, or 2026. Then you see success here. You see the logo of the Department of State in Bureau of Consular Affairs. You see all these things. You see all this information here, very nicely written. And this digital signature is very important. That is why they give you this page. Make sure that the person applying for you, or if you are applying it for yourself, print this page before you close the browser. You can also click and then save it as PDF, so that you don't lose this information, because when you win in the future, you are going to use this number here, this digital signature, to retrieve certain documents. So please, this is very important. This document is very important. Don't close the browser. Print it. If someone is doing it for you, let the person print it for you, and you go and keep it safely under your bed or something till the results are in. So this is how it's going to look, and this is how it is. So if you are done with the application, this is the page, and this is how the application form at the end will look like. So please try your luck. Try. There's no harm in trying. If you are picked, it's luck. If you are not picked, you try again. So please try, do it for yourself. Remember, if you are married, you can do it for yourself and attach your kids. Then you do it for your wife as well, and she will attach the kids, so that at least you have 2 chances. Make sure the pictures are right. The pictures have guidelines. Make sure that you meet all these guidelines. And I wish you all the best. So try, and I wish you all the best in this application. And if you win, I'll be happy to hear your stories.